Welcome back, TW fans. Another week of what's new at Tackle Warehouse. Thomas here, bringing you a good look at some new products that we got hitting the shelves. So we're gonna jump right in because we got a lot to cover today, so make sure to head over to tacklewarehouse.com if you wanna check any things out in a little bit more detail. We're gonna start off today, as I often do, with a rod. We got a new rod for you, a specialized rod for you here. This is the KGB Swimbait rod. So a really, really cool swim bait rod that is designed to throw a lot of your glide baits. If you guys are familiar with any of the KGB Swimbaits, well, now we got a rod that's been 10 years in the making, finally at the stores at Tackle Warehouse. So a really, really cool rod. It's actually made from a handmade custom blank, and it's a lot more parabolic than you see with other large swim bait rods. So that's great for those glide baits that are gonna be having treble hooks on them. It's just gonna keep those fish buttoned up, get more of them back to the boat. We know that those bites kind of come few and far between, so it's really, really important to capitalize on each and every one of those strikes. That blank is gonna help you do just that. Also loads up really, really nice, so you're gonna get excellent casting out of it and just good feel. This custom handmade blank is crowned with a nice Fuji Alkanite guide train. So you're gonna get expert line management, quiet casts, accurate casts. And then as we come down the blank here, we also have a Fuji reel seat. So it's really comfortable in the hand, blank through. And then we come down to this handle, which is a little bit unique as well. It's a really oversized handle. You can see it's really large and it's split grip. It seems like a lot of those kind of bigger swim bait rods, you don't often see that split grip. And sometimes I'm not really a fan of a split grip. I kind of like more of that full cork, but it makes sense with this rod. The reason he did this and gave you a giant, blank exposure right here is you can actually tuck that blank in your arm. So, kind of a lot of the famous swim baiters, the Butch Browns or even the Kevin Brightwell who designed this rod, they've been talking a lot about those light bites. Some of their biggest fish are coming on light bites that they're barely feeling. Well, with that blank exposure tucked in against your body, you're gonna feel all those light bites. Or maybe you're working, maybe a deeper glide bait that's sinking down, kind of going above grass or maybe next to some structure. You're gonna be able to feel any of that, those blades of grass along your treble hooks. So it's a really cool, premium, nice Portuguese cork on these things. Just a really, really nice rod that's designed specifically to throw swim baits. And it's just a little bit unique with that parabolic action. I like it. If you're looking for a new swim bait rod, give it a try. It's just something a little bit different that I think is gonna play really well for those larger glide baits. All right, we're gonna transition to some storage, or I guess some stow and go type stuff. So the Tackle Warehouse Sling Pack, you guys have been asking for it for a while. We've been getting a ton of comments, a ton of questions. Where are these things? When are they coming back? Well, they are back and better than ever. So we actually utilized a new manufacturer so you can get some upgraded materials and you see a new look. That sleek, all black look. So the exact same layout as the previous Sling Pack, but just that different all black look to it and some upgraded materials. This thing is really, really convenient. So if you're a bank angler, hopping from lake to lake, pond to pond, stream to stream, river to river, this thing is gonna play well for you. Maybe you're a kayak guy, canoe guy, whatever it is, this thing is awesome for on-the-go angling. You can stash it in the truck, stash it in your boat, just always have some gear on hand, ready to go, ready to hog some of those bass. Make sure again to check out the website on this one. We did a great product video on it and really go through and highlight all the features and kind of show you some tips and tricks in using this bag. So make sure to check that video out and grab yourself one of these new sling packs. All right, another revamp here. We got the new Tackle Warehouse Tournament Tackle Bag. So again, similar to that one here, we just have a new look to it, new manufacturer, so some upgraded materials and that sleek, modern black, all black look to it. So really great for, the co-anglers. If you got a tournament, you don't want to have to carry a giant bag or multiple bags. This thing is going to stow it all for you. Everything that you need for a day on the water, whether it is a tournament or you're just fun fishing. Definitely okay for those bank guys as well. You have this kind of rubberized bottom, so it's going to sit really, really well on the banks. But this is awesome and kind of geared toward those co-anglers that are jumping on a buddy's boat. You can hold a ton of stuff, a bunch of different pockets on the side, the front, the back, and then a big open compartment inside this thing. So you can stack a bunch of different planos, whatever your preferred storage box is, you can get a lot done. The whole kitchen sink, as they say, in this bag. So definitely check out those two new revamped, reimagined bags from Tackle Warehouse. All right, let's get back into some fishing gear. Now we're gonna kick it over to a reel. We got a new one from Pflueger, the new Pflueger Patriarch spinning reel. So this is redesigned, again, kind of like those bags that I was talking about, to be better than ever. Right out of the gate, when I pulled this thing out of the box, I was surprised at just how lightweight this thing is. So sure, I got a carbon fiber handle. We got this cork knob on here. That's gonna shed some weight too. But really where that weight saving is coming from is the magnesium body. And that magnesium body Great at reducing the weight, but it's also really strong and rigid, so you're not gonna get any flex, any play with the reel. So it's just a really premium material to build the spinning reel out of, and it reduces that weight. So, I mean, it's got a ton of other features in it too, a braid-ready spool with kind of tacky material on there. So if you're a guy that likes to do the braid to, you know, fluorocarbon leader, ton of drag in this thing, really, really smooth operation as well. But again, I like that lightweight platform. And then this really handy drop shot keeper system that comes off the knob. I think that's a smart feature, especially for those spinning rods that maybe don't have a hook retaining system, but just everyone knows kind of the challenge of having your drop shot weight hanging off your rod. It can just be kind of annoying, cause tangles, be in the way. That weight can bang into your other setups or your spinning rod itself, maybe cause some damage. This is gonna reduce a lot of that, so I think that's just a kind of cool, handy feature. But I like this thing. It's just gonna be a great, especially wintertime is coming up. We're gonna have to kind of downsize some of our presentations, do a lot more finesse fishing. I think this is gonna play really, really well on those lightweight, drop shot, Ned rig, any of those finesse fishing setups. So definitely check this one out from Pflueger. Speaking of finesse, we got some finesse baits to show you. So from Great Lakes Finesse, we have their new Sneaky Spin. So again, this is gonna be perfect for those colder winters that are, or colder months that aren't too far away this winter or already here in some parts of the country. You're gonna wanna check out this guy and some of the other finesse baits. I like this thing a lot. So like other underspins, you know, kind of got this compact platform here. But it's kind of cool too, because they actually use a really nice owner hook in this one, and then they put the eye of the hook a little bit farther forward. So that eye being a little bit farther forward combines with kind of this blunter, flat underside. So it's actually gonna come through sparse cover or over timber, little chunk rock boulders. It'll come over and through that stuff really well, and you'll get a little bit of deflection as it's ticking off those rocks or other hard cover. And we know that's where a lot of the bites come from. Finishing this one out, you got a nice little wire keeper system, so whatever little swim baits or maybe curly tail you want to throw on the back of this thing, it's going to stay pinned really well. And then you have a premium blade, nice ball bearing swivel, so this thing is going to rotate from the start of the cast to the end of the cast, whether it's slow or fast. Cool little underspin to check out from Great Lakes Finesse. Got another one from Great Lakes Finesse. This is their Snack Craw. So cool little craw. It's simple, but it kind of has everything you need in a craw. I kind of like that. It seems like anymore, everybody's trying to add wild appendages, maybe add some skirting, just doing a lot with craw. So it's kind of cool to see somebody step back and just go really simplistic, but focus on quality. So you just have a natural crawfish pattern on here, really buoyant plastic, so these claws are actually gonna stand up in the defensive position on the paws and give you some of that enhanced action as you're hopping it along or dragging it along the bottom. I like the colorways on this one. You know, it's kind of a matte, there's not really any shine to it, so again, it's really natural, and that kind of seems to be the theme with this little craw, is it's just trying to be authentic, and I like that. Streamlined body on this one, which is nice for sliding through the water column, but I also think you can skip pretty well with this thing too, with the flat bottom and flat top. So you might be able to skip if you're trying to target some fish, you know, under docks, under overhanging cover, in deeper pockets, wherever you're targeting those fish. I just think you're gonna be able to access them a little bit easier. Got a blunt tail at the end here, so it's gonna thread really well onto a jig or maybe a Ned head that I was talking about earlier. So just a ton of different options that you can do with a nice, simple, but effective craw. Another finesse one I want to take a look at today, the Yum Single Tail Grub. I mean, it's a single tail grub. Everyone needs one in their box. It's just so versatile. You can do just about everything with it, whether you want to drop shot it, whether you want to Carolina rig it, maybe you want to get some motion on this thing, throw it on the back of a little swim jig, maybe that underspin we were looking at earlier. Maybe you can do a whole finesse umbrella rig, do it all in your umbrella rig or a spinnerbait. There's just no wrong way to fish these things. And it's a high quality single tail grub, you know, ribbed body throughout, and then this oversized curly tail that's gonna give you a ton of thump, ton of action, cause a little bit of commotion, draw some more of those fish in. Even if maybe you're dealing with some stained, dirty water, they'll be able to feel this bait more than just see it. So I think that's nice. Loaded with scent as well, so it's just gonna help them to hang on a little bit longer, and again, maybe help them locate it in kind of those low visibility conditions. So cool little finesse single tail grub. Last finesse bait, we got a new one from 6th Sense. This is the 6th Sense Flat Finesse F4 crankbait. This thing is cool. It's gonna turn any crankbait into a shallow water specialist. This thing is designed to bulldoze, steamroll through all that shallow water, terrorize those bass in, you know, that kind of 3 to 6 foot of the water column. So you have a circuit board lip up front, really durable, and it makes it dive quickly, so you're gonna get down to that target strike zone real quick, but its durability is gonna play a key role as you're crashing into cover, you know, kind of just like we were talking about earlier. Maybe it's chunk rock, maybe it's a little bit of timber or some boulders. That's where a lot of that deflection is coming from, and you're gonna get a lot of those bites right after running into something like that, and that durable circuit board lip is gonna hold up to a lot more of those than you may with some of the other cheaper plastic lips. Flat sides on this one, so you're gonna get a really tight action out of it. And then internally you have a weight transfer system. So maybe windy conditions, you're gonna be able to cast this thing a long ways and really straight. Premium hardware on the exterior as well. You have these nice EWG style trebles. You know, you pay a little bit of money for a crankbait. It's great to get good to go hardware right out of the box, and these killer paint schemes. So you're just gonna be able to more expertly, accurately, precisely match the hatch in your lake. All right, let's take a look at a couple spinnerbaits from Shimano. We got the Shimano Swaggy Strong spinnerbait. We have a double willow option, and then also a Colorado willow option. So just kind of letting you cover any condition, any water clarity that you may be faced with. Double willow is gonna be great for imitating bait fish. It's gonna throw a ton of flash. This one will also throw some flash, the Colorado willow, but it's also gonna give you a ton of vibration, a little bit more thump, so it might help those bass locate the spinnerbait in kind of dirty, cloudy water. Really nice spinnerbait. So they actually have a dual thickness arm. So up at the top, you have a little bit of a thinner arm, and that's just gonna help enhance the vibration of the blades. And these blades themselves, they have a specialized bend on the front of them that's gonna add a ton of vibration. As you transition down to the lower arm, it's actually gonna gain density, get a little bit thicker. So if you have a giant fish on the end of your line, or you're kind of fishing near some structure and you just need to pull those fish away, that thicker part of the arm is just gonna give you a little bit more strength to do just that. Got a nice baitfish style head with some 3D eyes on here, really nice paint jobs. They actually have the weight painted onto the side as well, so that makes it really nice, no guesswork trying to remember what weight the spinnerbait is. And then behind it, you have a wire tied skirt. Really nice. If you're running it through cover, you're just getting a ton of bites, it's just gonna really hang on there better than some of those banded skirts. So I like that a lot. And then they also have a wire keeper system on here. So maybe it's that single tail grub that we were talking about earlier, paddle tail swim bait, whatever you're throwing on the back of this thing, it's gonna stay pinned, and a really nice sticky sharp hook that's also strong. So again, you'll be able to pull some of those bigger fish away from cover, get more of them back to the boat. All right, we got a new one from Jackall. This is a pretty cool, unique swim jig here. So this is the Jackall B-Craw swimmer swim jig. So this one was actually designed to be fished around like brush piles and some cover like that with their bush crawl technique. If you guys haven't seen that one before, definitely do some research on it. Kind of a cool technique. Well, this was designed to really enhance that technique itself. The head is different than some other swim jigs out there. I'm pretty excited to give this one a try. I haven't thrown it yet. So it's actually made with a dual of lead and tungsten. So you're gonna get a little bit heavier of a head, you know, longer casts, dive down a little bit deeper, but you're still gonna be able to maintain that larger profile. So if you're looking to match a certain size forage, you're gonna be able to get a heavier head without, you know, going too small with tungsten, or if you're going straight lead, too big. So it's kind of a cool happy medium there. Really nice painted heads and also flat sides on the bottom and the sides. So it's gonna skip really well. Again, if you're trying to fish under docks, laydowns, you know, reach those hard to reach pockets, you can do a ton with that head design. Hand tied, really nice skirt on the back of this one, a conical keeper system molded right in, and then a sticky sharp coated hook. So you're really gonna button up a ton of those fish. And then you also have a dual wire weed guard up top. So you can kind of customize the bend to it, trim it as you need, and it's just gonna kind of shed some of that snaggy vegetation. Definitely check out that new one from Jackall. All right, we got a whole new series of jigs, this time from Untamed Tackle. I'm gonna kind of go through these pretty quick. They share some features and they have some different features. So this one is their Scout Swimbait head. What they all do have is this quad barb keeper system. If you've ever fished any of like the Dobbins jigs that have that quad barb keeper system, I really, really like it. It pins your plastics super well, and the aggressive angles that they put on them doesn't tear up your plastic. So that's nice. You're gonna get a lot more life out of whatever plastic you're threading on the back of this thing. So all of them are gonna have that quad barb keeper system, which is super cool. This one is actually made around a really nice gamakatsu hook. Again, it's got a nice coating on it, so you're gonna get really quick penetration, and it's strong, so you're gonna get a lot of those fish back to the boat. Nice natural head on the front here, so it looks like a bait fish, and then kind of that flat bottom. So again, you might be able to skip this thing a little bit or just run over hard cover. If you're looking for a swim jig, we got the new Punisher swim jig. Again, so that quad keeper system, this one is actually made on an owner Zoe wire hook, so a super premium, really, really nice hook. So you can fish this thing with confidence, really swing that rod hard, knowing you're gonna get them back to the boat with that nice hook on it. And then they also have an oversized line tie. So if you're using bigger fluorocarbons, it just makes it easier to tie knots, or even some of, you know, the really big braids or kind of larger knots. It's just gonna allow you to kind of get them through that eye a little bit easier. Again, nice baitfish style head. The skirts on this one, really nice. They're silicone glued skirts with that band. I generally like hand tied, but I actually think it makes sense for this one. So they're glued in there, so you're still gonna get a really firm hold on that skirt, but that band is just gonna kind of flare out the skirting a little bit, so you're gonna get a more bulky, larger profile. So a cool little swim jig to check out. They also got a football head. This is their Juggernaut football head. Again, that same keeper system, another owner Zoe wire hook, so really, really nice material, nice skirt. It's that same, you know, big flared, silicone glued in, but where this one really shines is that head. So it's got a dimpled head design. It's gonna do a couple of things. They say it's gonna add a little bit of sensitivity, so you might feel a little bit more along the bottom, but also what it's definitely gonna do is kick up a little bit more debris, a little bit more of that silt, maybe some mud. So if you've ever seen a crayfish scooting along the bottom, you know they're always kind of kicking up some of that silt as they're scooting along. So this is just gonna give you a more natural look as it kicks up some of that debris as you're fishing this thing along the bottom. So a cool new football head to check out. Last one they got, again, Untamed Tackle. This is their Ace jig. So this is just kind of an all-around versatile jig. Smooth head design, another one that's kind of designed to enhance your skipping ability. And then we got a Gamakatsu, a premium Gamakatsu jig hook on the back of this one. So all their hooks are really, really nice. I love that. And then that same skirt system, but this time with a really fine cut 50 strand skirt. So you're gonna get a little bit more lively action out of it as we're kind of gearing into those winter months, you know, fishing a little bit slow. You can kind of get a little extra action out of the skirting while still fishing it slow. So if that's something you're into, you know, this may be one you want to check out for this winter. So that's the Ace jig from Untamed Tackle. But definitely head over to tacklewarehouse.com. We got a whole new series of jigs from them, and they're just all really nice, premium components. All right, guys, that's going to wrap up this week's episode of What's New at Tackle Warehouse. As always, to learn more about these products or to shop for them, make sure to click shop or the link in the description below. If you enjoyed this video, you want to see more like it, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and let us know in the comments. What are you trying out this winter? Or what are you fishing for this winter? We want to hear from you guys. All right, we'll see y'all next week.